Hello, I'm Tyler, KA0KA. I wanted to make a quick video demonstration here of how I have the shack laid out. And we'll go ahead and do this in a left to right format, and we'll go through each component. And the shack is really laid out in a big U configuration with heavy-duty steel desks. And each one of these desks you see can hold about 500 pounds, so they're very capable. There's also some nice storage racks underneath you can see for heavy ancillary equipment. So they really provide a really great way to set everything up. Well, let's go ahead and look at this. Here's a AL1500 in the standby configuration right now, good RF amplifier. The one I'm using at the moment mainly is the OM4000HF power amplifier. Very nice, modern, sleek, compact design. Really a high-powered RF amplifier, very capable. Here's a modified Palstar AT5K. I bring 600 ohm line into the back of it, feeding a 280-foot vertical loop for the main antenna system. Here's an analog Tektronix 2213 oscilloscope. I have a clean RF splatter view hooked up, wrapped around the amplifier input and output, feeding the channel 1 and channel 2 inputs of the scope for a pre and post RF comparison, and we'll look at the splatter view here. You can see the sampler on the output of the amp feeding channel 2 and the RF demodulator on the input of the amp feeding channel 1 for the XY plot. You can see that T adapter on the sampler as well. That's used to feed the adaptive pre-distortion input on the Anon 8000 as well as the oscilloscope. So dual purpose there. And the sides of the trapezoid, as you can see, are completely straight, representing perfect input versus output conditions in the linear service. So this is a quick test transmission of the oscilloscope adjustment. And if you look at the PEP indication below, it does not represent anything near the amount of peak envelope power that's actually being presented. So it's quite misleading at times. But anyway, this is the trapezoidal pattern in the XY plot. Okay, interesting demonstration there. That's really what the trapezoid looks like in the use of its function. Looking behind on the walls, you can see some big black panels. Those are used for sound mitigation. I put them on both sides, and I hope to get rid of some of the blower noises and things like that. And there's our flux capacitor helping the amplifier out. Well, here's the real workhorse of the station, the Apache Labs Anon 8000, which has turned out to be an incredible piece of equipment. And I'd like to just briefly look at some signals. We'll look at two sideband signals, a normal 3 kHz signal and a ESSB 10 kHz signal. Here's a normal 3 kHz signal as I have the graphics set up.
And I just gave up, so and now I've been dealing with other junk. So yeah, the other tower's gonna get a whole bunch more antennas on it, then I'm finished. Oh, and the 900 meg YAG, I just found it in my shed, so I'm gonna put that up.
The relays and all that to get that the sort of high-level performance that the folks are getting out of the 7000 series and 8000. I might buy a 7000. It's been a while. This radio is becoming long in the tooth, and I bought it in 2011, and I never lookked back. With the SDR, I did the Flex 5000. I did a lot of that stuff, and what I realized was with the advent of the SDRs, you can just do anything you want. Anything you want because of the flexibility, but not so. Flex radio, the early Flex radios are really good, but now if you want to play around with it, you got to buy an Anon.
Well, there you go. Well, this is a really interesting physical interface that I use. It's a MIDI controller. That's a DJ controller. That's very nice. It allows for the physical interface. There I have the main VFO-A. You can see some sliders for different volume controls, zooming in and out. Power output, I can assign any one of those buttons or knobs to do any virtual control in the radio, and that really helps. There's my modified TS850 and DSP100 I work with for ESSB and AM. Here's an interesting computer build that was a Core i7 followed by a solid-state drive, gigabyte hard drive, gigabyte motherboard rather, a couple solid-state drives, 16 gigabyte of RAM. I believe that's about it. Video card, obviously, to drive the pair of 32-inch curved monitors in HD, followed by a tube preamp, a tube enhancer, and then the Behringer 2496 for EQing and some leveling. And there's a Aphex Dominator for peak limiting on AM if I need it, followed by the very bottom mixer splitter. And here's a big antenna tuner. You can see those deep Hammond cabinets that I got for it, and some really beautiful custom paneling I had designed for the package. Those meters that you see are also custom, built by Simpson, and you can see a dual bird line watt meter section that runs in series with the tuner, so you can run the bird line independent and external of any tuning capabilities, and I felt that added a lot of value to the design. And panels came out real nice for that. Well, that's about it. We'll go ahead and take a zoom out here. I hope you enjoyed the shack tour. I'll be posting more on experimental HF station signals, number stations, over-the-horizon radars, and a bunch of really interesting stuff. So hope you enjoyed the shack tour. Thanks for watching.